please give it to me. I'll give it back to you after the tour. And lastly, is anyone planning on defecting north? I'd have to ask. By the way, you could take photo of this or record it if you want. But after we leave this area, the event photography is in effect. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of United Nations Command and soldiers of the United Nations Command Security Battalion Joint Security Area, I'd like to welcome you to Camp Bonifist. United Nations Command is a multinational coalition force which monitors Korean armistice and helps maintain regional stability throughout Northeast Asia. United Nations Command was first established in spring of 1952, originally consisting of 5 officers and 10 enlisted men. We reached our peak strength near the end of the Korean War with over 1,900 soldiers assigned. To place your tour into a better context, I will briefly review the political history of the Korean Peninsula. Prior to World War II, Japanese had colonized the whole Korean Peninsula. In the final days of World War II, Soviet Union accepted surrender of Japanese that are in the north of 38 parallel, while US accepted surrender of the Japanese that are in the south of 38 parallel. And this 38 parallel was never meant to be a political boundary nor division of a country. It was only there merely to establish designated area of responsibility. So elections were held in May 1948, and this man, Dr. Sung Won-ri, was elected to be the first president of the Republic of Korea. September of that same year, Soviet Union appointed this man, Kim Il-sung, to be the first premier of Communist North Korea. He ruled over North Korea approximately 46 years until his death in July 1994. After his death, his oldest son, Kim Jong-il, succeeded him in power. This was the first father-to-son succession of power to ever take place in communist country, and he ruled over North Korea approximately 16 years until his death in December 2011. After his death, our best friend Kim Jong-un succeeded him in power. This was the second father-to-son succession of power to ever take place in communist country, and marks the 3rd generation of Kim's family to rule over North Korea. Despite the negotiation and attempt to reunify the Korean Peninsula, North Korea launched a huge surprise attack on June 25, 1950. This war lasted over 3 years, costing more than 2 million people of their lives. Within the first month of the attack, North Korea were able to capture most of the Korean Peninsula. The UNC coalition force were finally able to stop their advance in near city of Busan. After that, over the next 4 months, UNC conducted a initial landing, and after that, we were able to push back North Korea all the way back to the Yellow River, which was the border between China and North Korea. At this point, China entered the war and helped North Korea in their war efforts. After this, the war began to stabilize around this 38 parallel. However, the permanent settlement has not been reached yet. So on July 27, 1953, military commanders from UNC, Chinese People's Volunteer, and Korean People's Army, KPA, signed an armistice or ceasefire agreement to stop this fighting. And this agreement is still in effect today. This white dotted line you see is an MDL, or a military demarcation line. Under the provision of armistice, all military commanders were ordered to pull back their troops 2,000 meters from their last hostile point of contact, thus creating 4-kilometer wide and 241-kilometer long DMZ, or demilitarized zone. You're currently 400 meters away from the southern boundary of the DMZ and approximately 2.4 kilometers away from the MDL itself. And this is the city of Kaesong, the original site for the armistice talk prior to being moved to Panmunjom, which is Joint Security Area. Although the DMZ became one of the most militarized locations in the world, the MDL still consists of no fortification. It's a simple series of 1,292 black and yellow panel markers that denotes the borderline from coast to coast that are spaced under 200-meter intervals. On the southern side, the sign is labeled Korean at the top, English at the bottom. On the northern side, it is labeled Korean at the top, Chinese at the bottom. Inside the Joint Security Area, this MDL line is more clearly defined by a series of white stakes that are standing in 1 meter in height and spaced at 10-meter intervals. This MDL line further extends through the conference row, bisecting each building by this 17 by 5-inch concrete slab. So on your trip north today, I'll be able to point out Guard Post 240, Observation Post Solid, Taesongdong Freedom Village, Heejongdong Propaganda Village, Swiss and Swedish NSC camp, and former Czechoslovakian and Polish NSC camp. I will highlight in detail some of the areas you'll see today. I'll start with Taesongdong from Freedom Village. The UNC Security Battalion is responsible for implementing civil affairs and providing security for this unique village. We carry our responsibility through a security company that watches this village 24 hours a day. During the daylight, we watch the farmers while they work in the fields, and at night we watch the whole village itself while the residents sleep. 1,800 meters away from Taesongdong across the MDL is village of Heejongdong Propaganda Village. It obtained its nickname through an extremely large speaker system throughout the area until the June of 2004. North Korea broadcasts propaganda from here 6 to 12 hours a day, and it could be heard here at Camp Boniface, but mostly at night. This propaganda idolizes Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, that they have a great leader, and invites citizens of Taesongdong, as well as the rest of the Republic, to defect to this so-called village of paradise. However, if anyone were to defect here, they will find themselves very lonely, because this village is mostly fake and uninhabited. We do see people from time to time who work at the Kaesong Industrial Complex and maintain upkeeps of these fake buildings, and raise and lower this extremely large North Korean flag. This is actually one of the largest flags in the world, with an approximate length of 31 meters and dry weight of 600 pounds. The flagpole at Gyeongdong was the second flagpole that stood in the village of Gyeongdong. That's because in 1981, the Republic of Korea donated a brand new flag in the flagpole to the village of Taesongdong, and it stood taller than the one in Gyeongdong. So North Korea quickly responded with the taller flagpole. Today, the flagpole at Taesongdong is 100 meters in height, and one at Gyeongdong is 160 meters in height. As we enter Joint Security Area today, I'll be able to point out Neutral Nation Supervisory Commission Camp. Originally, the delegates from Switzerland, Sweden, Poland, and Czechoslovakia originally formed the NNSC. The commissioners were charged with the investigation of any armistice violation occurring outside of the DMZ. Currently, we only work with the 3 delegates. The delegates from Switzerland and Sweden stay year-round, while the delegates from Poland only come for the biannual meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, for security purposes, we cannot go to checkpoint 3, but if you were to go here, you'll be able to see Czechoslovakia and Polish NNSC camp, as you can see here on the right. After that, you'll see a North Korean Peace Museum. This building was constructed in less than 48 hours and sole purpose to silent armistice. And also visible from checkpoint 3, excuse me, is Version of Return. Version of Return obtained its nickname near end of Korean War, and Operation Big Switch and Operation Little Switch were being conducted. During this, the UNC returned over 82,000 prisoners of war, while North Korea and China returned over 13,000 prisoners of war. Both prisoners of war were lined up at either side of the bridge, and they were given opportunities to cross into the country of their choice. However, once they had crossed, they were not able to return, hence the name Version of Return. The Version of Return is located on the southern boundary of the Joint Security Area. All the blue buildings here you see belong to the UNC, United Nations Command, and all the red buildings belong to the KPA, Korean People's Army, North Korea. Prior to 1976, this Joint Security Area was a neutral location, so the guard forces were able to cross the border freely within this area. North Korea took full advantage of this by building 4 North Korean guard posts on the southern boundary road, while UNC built none in the north. Note the location of checkpoint 4 and how it's isolated from the rest of the Joint Security Area, and it's surrounded by 3 sides of the North Koreans' guard post. Soldiers working at checkpoint 3 couldn't see soldiers working at checkpoint 4 due to a large yellow poplar tree that grew in between the checkpoints. So on August 18, 1976, UNC dispatched 5-man civilian work details accompanied by a 12-man security force to conduct a tree trimming operation. Upon arriving there, they were met by 28 North Korean guards. The work did begin as scheduled, however, 5 minutes into the work, North Koreans attacked. This fight only lasted about 4 minutes, and during that time frame, we lost our company commander, Captain Arthur Boniface, and first platoon leader, First Lieutenant Mark Guerin. They were brutally accidented from within this area. And this is a real photograph, and I will show you 3 JSA soldier you can see on this photograph. First, it's hard to see, but he is there fighting 7 KPAs all by himself. And next, you can see helmet and corpse of Captain Arthur Boniface brutally accidented in front of his own vehicle. And next, you can see clearly that this KPA soldier is holding an axe towards a JSA soldier. This unprovoked act of violence led to a special series of meetings, and it was decided that the MDL should separate the 2 guard forces. Under these new arrangements, there was no more act of violence until November 23, 1984, when Soviet citizens on North Korean-sponsored tour dashed across the MDL to defect to this free world. The KPA soldiers, armed with rifle and pistol, chased after this man in order to capture or kill this man. The JSA Quick Reaction Force were quickly alerted. They were able to halt and outflank North Korean's main body. There was approximately 30 KPAs located on the northern portion of the UNC Southern Guard. This firefight lasted about 20 minutes, and during that time, we killed 3 KPAs, wounded 5, and we lost 1 soldier, Corporal Jang, and had 1 wounded as well. Throughout the firefight, the Soviet citizen was protected and quickly evacuated back to Camp Boniface. So on your trip north today, I'll guarantee you will at least see 1 KPA soldier. We call him Bob, and he stands about 12 hours a day. And this red armband states that they're military police. Under the provision of armistice, all military or armed personnel inside the DMZ must wear these armbands. But North Korea no longer do so. They may come down to see your tour today, so we ask you please do not communicate with them verbally or non-verbally, or point, wave, and make derogatory gesture towards them in any way. We provide security and assistance for humanitarian operations such as repatriation of remains from Korean War and delivery of the humanitarian aid to the north. We're also in charge of the VIP visits such as former U.S. President George W. Bush, former Republic of Korea's President Lee Woon-pak, Prime Minister of New Zealand John Keith, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates. And just like these dignitaries, you'll be guarded by the soldiers of the Security Battalion. Soldiers you see to your right is U.S. Army infantry soldiers. We wear the MP badge because of the Army suits, but most of the guys here are infantry. And we serve here approximately 12 months here, and the soldiers you see to your left is Republic of Korea, ROK soldier. They serve here approximately 21 to 24 months here. To be a JSA soldier, both soldiers must meet above average aptitude of a normal soldier, and they must have clean and military and civilian background. It is due to all this and the fact that we are most forwardly deployed in the Korean Peninsula, and the fact that we stand face to face with our enemies on a daily basis, UNC, Republic of Korea, and U.S. Army gave us our motto, which we proudly state, ladies and gentlemen, we are truly in front of them all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you have one last chance to use the bathroom. If you don't have to use the bathroom, please load into the bus. You'll be on bus number 1.